A teenage girl committing such a horrible crime exposes the dark side of human nature. Beware of these females, who committed crimes so heinous that there was no other punishment for them other than a life sentence. Women are often stereotyped as being sensitive and sympathetic. But the severity of the crimes committed by some women challenges these assumptions. What led these women to commit these horrifying crimes? And what does this reveal about the dark side of human nature? Why is there such a spike in female lifers? The victims' reactions are varied, ranging from regret and remorse to acceptance and hope. Join us as we explore the complex emotions of life sentence reactions among female convicts. Number 5. Alyssa Bustamante. Alyssa Bustamante seemed to be a rebellious yet normal teenager in rural St. Martins, Missouri, until she brutally murdered her neighbor Elizabeth Olten in 2009. There was a much darker person hiding beneath the surface of this 15-year-old girl, as her online persona made clear. Alyssa attempted suicide and had to stay in a mental hospital for 10 days. The teen started taking antidepressants. Alyssa was a totally different person when she was online. She mentioned killing people and cutting as her hobbies on MySpace and YouTube. Additionally, she uploaded a YouTube video in which she attempted to convince two of her brothers to touch an electrified fence. Elizabeth Olten, age 9, resided 4 homes away from the Bustamante family. She frequently visited to play with Alyssa and her siblings. Patricia Price, Olten's mother, claims that Olten visited Alyssa's house that evening to play. FBI officers questioned Alyssa and took her diary the day after Elizabeth vanished. Authorities later discovered a shallow grave behind the Bustamante residence that was covered in leaves. Elizabeth's body was inside. Alyssa Bustamante's diary entry revealed her even more heinous character. Investigators were able to read the original writing that Alyssa had covered up by blotting out the blue ink from her diary, which detailed the ecstasy she experienced after killing Elizabeth Olten. "I just fucking killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them, now they're dead. I don't know how to feel ATM. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the, oh my god, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kinda nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now, lol." She admitted killing Elizabeth Olten in court. Alyssa agreed to a plea bargain for the lesser charge of second-degree murder in order to avoid the death penalty. She might be released from prison on parole after 30 years as part of the plea agreement. Where is Alyssa Bustamante right now? In court, Patricia Price, the distraught mother of Elizabeth Olten, referred to Alyssa as an evil monster. Alyssa Bustamante is currently incarcerated at the Chillicothe Correctional Center in Chillicothe, Missouri. Number 4. Kyandria Cook. Emmanuel Manny Purcell, 17, and Perry Nida, 27, drove to meet Cook at her place in South Daytona on March 22. On the dating app Meet Me, Nida had met Cook, and he had anticipated having sex with her. Purcell anticipated selling her some marijuana. But moments after the meeting, and as the pot was weighed, a masked shooter entered the pickup truck after Cook. When the shooter fired twice, Purcell bent forward and shoved him. One bullet went through Purcell's intestines and lodged in his pelvis. Even though he was severely hurt, Purcell lived. Judge Matt Foxman initially sentenced Cook to 20 years in jail. The 18-year-old was shocked when Circuit Judge Matt Foxman sentenced her to 20 years in prison. The offense involved a carjacking and other violence, in which a man was shot and seriously hurt. Cook's mother began to wail after that, which caused Cook to start breaking down as well. That video went viral. Cook received an 11-year sentence. Cook was originally given a 20-year jail sentence, but it was later overturned. On Monday, Foxman reduced her prison term to 11 years and concurrently imposed a 20-year probationary period. Ashley Terwilliger, the prosecutor, claimed that Cook and 4 other guys carjacked a second victim the day after Purcell was shot. After all was said and done, Terwilliger asserted that she was the brains behind this criminal activity. When the court reversed her 20-year jail sentence, she did not cry this time, not even tears of joy. Number 3. Diana Lovejoy. Diana Lovejoy is a former American fitness instructor and coach. She gained a lot of notoriety for attempting to kill her spouse, Greg Mulvio. Greg was fortunate to survive the gunshot. The couple's problems worsened after a few years of marriage. The couple was blessed with a child, but things had already ended between them before then. Diana was the only source of income in the household when Greg lost his job. Their decision to divorce was finally made. Diana decided to kill Greg with the help of her gun instructor, who happened to be her boyfriend, Weldon McDavid Jr. Jason Kovach called 911 and reported that his friend had been shot. Jason was with his friend, Greg Mulvio, when they were attacked on a nearby path by a sniper. They headed to a pitch-black route near Rancho Santa Fe Road about 11 o'clock at night. A gunshot wounded Greg, so he was brought to the hospital, and he needed immediate surgery. Who wanted to hurt Greg? And why were they there at that hour of the night? In an effort to determine why they visited that trail that evening, police spoke with Jason. Jason revealed to them that Greg received a call that evening from a man claiming to be a private detective. The caller informed Greg that he had discovered information that would be useful during the divorce process in custody court. He promised to give Greg one chance, and only one chance, to see what it was, and he would leave the paperwork on that trail. Greg became so suspicious that he asked Jason if he would accompany him, and Jason agreed. When they arrived, a man dressed in camouflage opened fire, and one of the rounds struck Greg. Deanna and Weldon participated in one trial. They each entered a not guilty plea. The divorce custody dispute and Diana's charges against Greg were all discussed in court. Diana Clark, Diana's aunt, was called to testify by the prosecution. She claimed that Diana had asked her if she might assist in finding someone to murder Greg. Diana had it all figured out, the witness assured the court. Weldon's buddy, Barry Rader, testified in court that Weldon could easily hit a target from 100 yards away. He would have shot Greg dead if he had desired to do so. Deanna counted on the jury's determination that the prosecution did not provide sufficient evidence to establish her involvement. Both of them were found guilty by the jury of premeditated attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Diana received a 25-year life sentence and a further 1-year prison sentence after being proven guilty. She sobbed and fell to the ground when the judge announced the punishment. She is currently incarcerated in the Chochilla Women's Prison. Number 2. Kayla Mendoza. Kayla Mendoza, 21, was sentenced to 24 years in prison, plus 6 years of probation for tweeting "too drunk to care," before driving a Hyundai Sonata the wrong way on the Sawgrass motorway and colliding with a 2012 Toyota Camry, killing 2 people. Kayla Mendoza entered a plea to 2 counts of DUI manslaughter. Mendoza apologized to the families of her victims at her sentencing, saying that her guilt is overwhelming and that she wanted to trade spaces with the ladies she killed. "This all may be my fault, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being just like everyone else. My heart hurts every day. My life has changed, and I will never be the same person I was before," Mendoza stated. The judge decided against giving her the maximum penalty of 30 years due to her demonstrated contrition. He permanently suspended Mendoza's driver's license. Number 1. Elizabeth Escalona. The final case discussed in this video reveals a horrifying and unimaginable degree of mother-inflicted torture. The Texas mother who beat up her 2-year-old daughter and taped her hands to a wall received a 99-year prison sentence. Escalona attacked the child when she lost patience with potty training. Escalona struck the girl with a milk jug and kicked her in the stomach before taping her hands to the wall. The girl was hospitalized in a coma as a result of the beating. According to the prosecutors, Escalona was frequently abusive to her children. She used drugs and beat them. Escalona was given a life sentence by Judge Larry Mitchell. He said, "You savagely beat your child to the edge of death." The punishment was handed down following 5 days of grueling testimony, in which Escalona was shown photographs of the bruised toddler and asked if she was a monster. Escalona agreed and said yes. During cross-examination, the words "monster" and "liar" were displayed on a screen above Escalona's head by the prosecution. Escalona showed little emotion when the judge read the verdict. In 30 years, Escalona will be eligible for parole. Her children are now in the custody of the state. Even though the events that led to their incarceration may have been different, one thing has not changed: how their acts affected both them and those around them. What do you think about the life sentences given to these female criminals? And which crime from the video was the most heinous?